All right, welcome back into another episode of Indie B&B. Today we are joined by Elijah Johnston, ATL based now, but former Athens resident. So Elijah, brother, how we doing today?
Doing great. Just got back from a nice long walk. Feeling exercised, we're all good.
Yeah, I like it. You was that walk for like a digestion walk? Are we talking, are we just talking, hey, like let's just get out there and get some steps in?
Yeah, get some steps. Had a big lunch. Went and had lunch with my dad, so I had a big old Tex-Mex lunch, and I wanted to kind of get get the blood pressure down a little bit.
I love it. I love it. Good thing to do taking those walks. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that you can do on walks is listen to some Elijah Johnston. We love you. We got into your tunes. I think found you guys through obviously, booking this and everything. So, talk to me about, some of the music you guys and you have created here. Where's it all stem from, man?
I think where it stems from is I always kind of frame it like when I was first starting to write songs, I was probably like 16 or 17. And initially at that age, I was kind of writing songs and I was playing guitar a lot and I was okay at it. But what I really wanted to do when I was that age was I wanted to be a comedian. And I got through some time trying, like, I would like try to write jokes and all this kind of stuff. And I realized it was just not my skill set. But I always try to think of it like, you know, I want to set a stage. I want to like create more of an atmosphere than just like, let me tell you what I'm feeling for a minute or something like that. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I love music that is just like, let me tell you how I'm feeling. But I always try to set it up, especially the longer I do this, I try to set it up more of like little self-contained kind of stories or something like that that have kind of a something like that going on.
I like it. I like it. Well, you probably get your start you when you're younger, but like you have some Athens roots. We've a fair amount of folks that have been on this show from Athens. We know it's a very, heavy music town. Like how'd you get your start there? Were you playing, the fraternity parties? Which circuit did you begin this whole thing on?
I started playing, um, didn't really move there thinking I was going to be in a band. I mean, I wanted to, but I never really intended it. And I kind of got my start, like I had written some songs and I was starting to play shows like once every now and again. And there was a venue that we used to play all the time that doesn't exist anymore in Athens. It was called the Caledonia Lounge, and it was this kind of like it felt like basically playing inside of an alleyway, and it was real dark and dirty, and we all loved it. And I don't know, we I felt like there was a whole community and scene when I was starting there that like similarly to me didn't feel completely at home in the world of like playing frat parties and playing big kind of things like that, but also didn't feel like I want to go start like a punk band and play at like a house party. It was like a strange kind of feel like there was a whole cast of people that had sort of a weird outlier syndrome going on. So that was kind of how it felt to us, but didn't really think too much of it. It just kind of tried to write songs with my friends and it kind of snowballed from there. So I don't know.
I like it. I like it. Well, like for you getting into the to that lounge, like what were some of the things that you learned about just performing and things that you've taken from then till now? Like, did it really shape you as a musician to kind of perform in somewhere like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's it definitely shapes you when you're in a position where you feel like you really have to win people over. Um and the venue, a lot of the places that we would play kind of early on had this weird thing where they would be so small that it would almost force people to pay attention. And when you're paying really close attention to a band that's brand new, you might you're probably going to pretty easily notice like the flaws. And so when you're playing in an environment, especially like the first shows I would ever do, we'd be playing tiny rooms and I'd be playing by myself. And it was kind of just this thing of like, remember the words, land the joke between songs, just keep it moving. And I don't know, it feels like it definitely, I think of that time in my life and how kind of nervous and excited I was and how everything felt very fresh. And I have moments now where I'm like, um, it's almost like you're kind of that classic thing of like you're always sort of chasing that feeling, and if it doesn't remind you of the good that motivated you to do in the first place, it's kind of like why worry about it.
Hmm. Definitely. Well, I mean, like you mentioned, you had some inclination you want to be a comedian. Now is that like part of the charm when you got a live show? It's like, hey, like Elijah's kind of funny. Got it,
I I definitely feel like, especially when I play shows now where I play, if I play by myself, or if we have a show where I'm headlining it, I can kind of stretch out. I try to work it in there, but I would kind of like prepare like stories to tell, and kind of, and after doing that for a little while, it was like, this is fine, but it doesn't feel real. So I try to make people laugh, and I try to keep the energy good. But I don't know, now I feel almost, sometimes I feel like I'm like hosting my own show, like I'm like, welcome in. um and which is a funny feeling, but I've there's always that part of me that wants to be like the guy that's really mysterious and really like, you could never really know me. But I think I realized early on that that's not really who I am, and so I just have to kind of be whatever I am, and that's not it.
I got you. Well, I mean, I think like, being able to host your own show and like have that feeling like, and like, have it be effective. I mean, I think like some people overthink the midway through. I've been to shows where it's like they don't say anything, and
Yeah.
like that to me, I'm like, well, what's the name of the song? Or like what,
Yeah.
what like one of the things that bothers me, I come out of like some shows and I'm like, dude, that was freaking sick, but I have no idea what I gotta go look up to support these
Yeah.
people because I have
Definitely.
no idea what any of the song names were.
Yeah, I hear that.
Um, but that's interesting to kind of you kind of feel like you're hosting your own show. Hey, we can host your show for you if you ever
Yeah.
want to. Let us know. We're Tash and I can come in and MC if you need it. But well, I want to get into our song spotlight. Kind of
Yeah.
transition into what you've it looks like you found some success here with the song Syrup. And
Sure.
so want to understand like you know it's your most streamed song. So, why do you think that is? What do you feel like has the audience like picked up on that you really feel, is getting there going?
I think there's two sides to it. There's the kind of cynical part of me that studies like the trends and what kind of is going on in the music world, and that part of me says like, oh well, the song is really short, um, and a lot of times the streaming kind of robots prefer, or the algorithms, like they prefer shorter songs to send people.
Hmm.
And they also, I think, tend to prefer songs that start with vocals like right at the beginning and don't have intros, and that song starts like that. So that's the cynical part of me that wonders if it's just if there's some sort of math behind it. But the not cynical part of me thinks, I think that people think that it's a little bit funny, it's a little bit silly. I mean, I've had people tell me their different interpretations of what they think the song is about, and they're always wrong, but they're always a lot funnier than maybe I even thought at first. And so I think it's also like, I don't know if it really how much it comes across, but it was very like not rushed or stressed when we recorded it. I mean, we did everything very quickly, but not in a way of like we got to sit here and figure out how to make this a hit. It was really the most effortless song that we did. I mean, we laid down a drum and bass track during our lunch break one day in the studio. Like everybody was at lunch, and I don't normally play bass on my own songs, and my producer Tommy Troutwine, he doesn't normally play drums on my songs, but our drummer, who's my brother Gideon, he was at lunch, and we just got home from lunch earlier, and we were like, let's just put down a rhythm track just to have like a reference point. And our drummer got back from lunch, and he was like, "Why? Just keep it. Just do that one. Like that's the song." We were like, "Oh, all right, yeah, cool." So I think it's a little bit of that kind of like not overthinking it sort of thing. Hopefully, it comes through.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, talk to us about, the nuts and bolts of it, man. Like when so this sounds like did you start with that drum track while he was at lunch and like that's how the thing got going and then, where do we layer in lyrics? Give us kind of the more developmental part of the songwriting process there.
Yeah, I definitely. It was written, just kind of me and guitar, and just got to the end of writing it and was like, the song's like 90 seconds long. Do I need another verse or something? And the more I would write a line or two and just be like, no, I think this is kind of a self-contained little thing. And then I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more, uh, in my mind, I was like, this will be like a cool, almost sound like a stroke song, or sort of like we'll get in there and make it a real like rock kind of tune. And then Tom, who produced it and played drums on it, was kind of like, let's tone it back a little smoother, a little more silky, and that was a really like nice space to start from, where it was less. We have to make like a rock track, and it was a little bit more kind of just letting it be a little easier. And then yeah, it was just a lot of kind of simple. I think there's only like two guitars playing. It's all very like minimal, and there's a little organ bit that we did, and these kind of funky like Beach Boys vocals that I really wanted to do, because there's a couple moments like that all over the record that have these kind of big Beach Boy choir vocals in the background, and just wanted to toss that in just for good measure, and yeah, it was pretty simple.
Love it. I love it. Well, everyone go stream Syrup right here in the description below so you can kind
Oh,
of get the vibe and
yeah,
hear the painting.
yeah.
I've been getting some feedback from people that we don't put the song in the description. Hey, right down below you can get you can go right to the song so you can hear what he's talking about and come back to the interview after. Um well, that's, I mean, like, again, your creative process there. I've heard the word simple and, keeping it easy is, part of this, a part of the song. So, kind of to wrap it up, like when you were writing it, like now that it's one of your, more popular songs that people have heard, like, do you play it multiple times during the set? Do you just play it once, like you during your live set, or is it like you build it around that? Like, what's that kind of look like, when you're kind of putting together the live show for the Hometown Vampire album?
Sure. Yeah, at first it was not, we had no idea that it was going to be the one that streamed the best. So back in the when we were first touring off the record, it was doing the same amount of streams as all the other ones were. And so we would kind of play it in the middle of the set, like it and the title track of the record, Hometown Vampire, kind of sit next to each other on the album, and they kind of work together as a, being next to each other in the set. And we would play it kind of beginning, middle of the set, and but then we had, after it started picking up steam, I noticed that we would play it in the middle and people would like respond really well to it and then kind of deflate a little bit. And I've always heard horror stories of bands that have a big hit that pops, like back in the 90s, these one hit wonders that would play their hit third song of the set, and then people would just kind of check out. And so that was kind of a funny thing of like, oh, we should probably play this at the end or play it like
Um,
second from the end to kind of keep people waiting because they're realistically have started to become people at the shows that kind of only know that song, and which is great. I mean, that's totally cool, but it's like it kind of keeps people more engaged to do it that way. And I don't know, it's funny, like you don't want to be uh I've always a tension between um, kind of doing what you feel like the people want and
mhm.
doing what you feel like is the right thing for you. But when it comes to like playing songs live or things like that, I'm always kind of like, yeah, I mean, well, we should probably listen to the feedback. That I've never played it twice. That would be far out. I have thought about it of like almost if we had a long set, like comically playing it like over and over again or something silly like that. But we haven't really expanded it past what it is now, other than just playing it every set. But
Mhm.
I could totally see it kind of having a lengthy solo or something kind of funny like that. But
I like it. I like it. When you create those, and probably when you were first starting off, like, did you ever have like cover material, or were you more, hey, like I'm gonna play my own stuff, and that's the way I'm gonna build it, or did you ever have any, like, all right, like I'll throw a cover in there here and there, like, from the beginning, what's been your kind of your philosophy there?
we would we would do covers every now and again. I think the people that I kind of cut my teeth playing with were not like militant, but we were like people that were less interested in like, oh, we got to start a band, and it was more of like we got to write songs. That
Right.
was kind of the playing live was secondary to having written a song that we liked, and so I think that was always kind of the thing. But I mean, I love, we'll play one every now and again. And like me and my bandmates one time did a full, we'll do like, we once played around Halloween, like a full Beatles cover set, like an hour of Beatles song, like we're not above like doing fun things like that. But I think in general, especially when we're out promoting the record, um, we tend to keep it pretty like original focused just because it's um I think is I never even had a framework of like people would ask me like, oh, like do you when I was first starting out, like what all covers do you play? And I would be like, what do you mean? Like I don't know what you're talking about. And it was I think we just didn't have a framework for that. But as time has gone on, it's there's nothing wrong with it. It's nice to pick something that kind of gets the people jumping a little bit. But
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I mean, it's always interesting to ask that because, like, some people are staunchly, against covers because they feel like it kind of paints them into a corner, in one way or another, especially when they're, coming up. And then there are some bands who like become cover bands and they end up, obviously graduating out to different things. And so it's just interesting kind of to hear your perspective for sure, since you kind of started in that Athens, in that Athens group. But,
yeah,
um, within that, like, playing live, for somebody who has never seen you before live, like when I walk out of the show, like what do you want me feeling? How do you want me feeling? And what's kind of that part whenever you have something done.
I think the best compliment someone ever gave me on one of my shows. I think he's been on this show is Jameson. Has he
Oh
been on?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Jameson told me once he was like, man, I once left one of your shows and I felt like it almost felt like I was walking out of a movie theater. And he was like, I felt like we were taken on kind of a journey. And I just think that the shows that I've been most impacted by and like bands I've been most impacted by in my life have been shows and bands that really that they it doesn't feel like we got up there and we played the hits for an hour and now we're going home. But they kind of take you through sort of a different story or a different narrative than really might be on the album or whatever. And turn it into kind of a unique experience. So I don't know. I think the goal would be to leave people feeling like, man, I heard the song I wanted and it kind of surprised me. Like something about what I heard didn't sound exactly like the record. Like we really play
Mhm.
things pretty not completely differently, but just much simpler instrumentation, obviously live than you can really pull off. Um, you can't really pull off the full studio sound or whatever live.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We try to keep people sort of on their toes a little bit, but not like bewildered or anything like that.
Yeah, I think like there's a beauty in being able to, you get in a live setting, and like even though there's not as many knobs and buttons that you're playing, pressing with, like just being able to have your bandmates there and going off on the solo, because like I feel like if you don't do things fresh, maybe you feel like, I guess I could have just turned on the CD, or I could have just
Yeah,
turned
yeah,
on the, I feel like there's some people that I've seen, I've been like, man, I liked it, but it didn't feel like they, had their personality and kind of put their stamp on it. So I guess that, getting a journey, I think
yeah,
is definitely a compliment. So I'll be looking for the journey,
yeah.
whenever I come
Hopefully,
see you
hopefully.
live. That'll be my thought going in. But yeah, you mentioned some other Athens, folk. Like I guess that town, brings people out, and I saw on your Spotify that you've opened for Susto, and you've opened for, a few other bands. Like, what have you learned from other bands you've kind of gone on tour with and supported in a couple different cities that like you've taken away? Like anything that sticks out to you as far as like this person taught me X or Y?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the people in our sphere are definitely like always teaching me a lot of things. My brother plays drums with me, plays drums in a band called Hotel Fiction that is up out of Athens, and they've always been people that they're all friends of mine, and I just have like a lot of respect for. They have the attitude of like we are on the road. It does like it. We don't care what the place is. We do not care how far we have to drive. Like we are going, we are playing, and we're gonna kick ass because that's just what we're gonna have to do. And as someone who touring is not always the easiest thing for me. It's not like the I'm not the I don't jump to it all the time. I
Mhm.
love to do it once I'm doing it, but it doesn't come super naturally to me. I have just a lot of respect for people like them who work really hard, and my bandmate Tom who produces all my stuff, and he's got his own band called Well Kept that I play in too. Like he's just the kind of person who always knows how to like cut through to the meat of the song, the meat of the question of like, what is this song about? What's the hook? What are we trying to tell people? And how do we make it, maximize the quality of it? But I don't know. And, we've got friends that we've toured with that just are, I think, really have shown me a lot about how to just be true to like the art and be true to the song, and to not be as focused on why didn't this Instagram picture get that many likes when just like worrying about the promo and the business because you kind of have to worry about it, but not making that your life, making it
Yeah,
about the art first. And you know
it's definitely admirable. So is the band just you, Gideon, and Tom, or is there, a few others just in there for this particular project?
we kind of rotate in and out, but generally speaking, it's the three of us, and then sometimes when Tom can't make it on the road to play bass, we have this guy named Aiden that also plays. He's also the bass player of Hotel Fiction with my brother, so they'll come out there. And then my buddy Drew, that's actually my manager, and he co-wrote some of the songs. He'll co-write some of the songs with me. Um, and he'll often play lead guitar because he's just a kind of a maniac guitar player. So we have him play if we're in town, because he doesn't really tour a whole lot. So, but yeah, I mean, we play as a when we were kind of figuring out how to play the new record live, like it was kind of looking like wow, this we can really strip this really really bare bones for the live set and focus on just how to play those parts and singing and keeping it simple.
I love it. Well, is there a tour? I mean, this obviously this album was released last year. So have you fully toured it, or were you in the middle of the tour? Is there a tour coming up? Like, what's that kind of look like for you on the outlook?
We did a bit back in October, right when it first came out. That was kind of the main album tour, and then we've had some kind of things pop up here and there between October and now. But we're going out there for about a week in July, doing some kind of southeast shows. I think we're trying to get back up to the northeast, ideally in the fall, but TBD. But yeah, doing some close to home shows in July and trying to just make the most out of those kinds of shows because there's those are some of the places we're going back to some of the places that we've had some good success going out of town, like Chattanooga and Asheville and places like that are filled with lots of friends. So should be good.
Love it. I love it. We got a tour of the Southeast coming up, maybe Northeast here coming up in the fall. So we'll be on the lookout for some dates as well. From the Elijah Johnston,
Sure.
project experience,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you will. But
yeah.
we will transition now to a little bit different of a little different part of the show, the Pete Peterson party pack of questions.
Yeah.
I will give you the warning that I've been giving the last few folks. The last question is a couple bands that we might not know that we ought to check out. So have that in the back of your mind. You've mentioned a couple already, but you can use those. But we'll pop it off here. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. 20 questions right in a row. Elijah, cake or pie?
I'm gonna go pie.
He's a pie man. All right, here we go. Salad or soup?
Salad.
All right, going salad. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of?
Oh, sunset. Way more.
Way more sunsets. I love it. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Uh, Home run. I've hit home runs before, and it was the coolest thing in the world.
All right, he's got some nukes. Let's go. Night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
Nights in, definitely,
Nights
definitely more
in.
nights in.
All right. When you do go out though, and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm?
Probably the robot. Yeah, I'm not getting on the ground.
That's what a lot of folks say. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Probably queso, but ideally both. But probably queso if I have to choose.
Did you have queso today?
No, no.
No queso today. All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Ooh, pancakes,
All right. All right. Coffee or tea with those pancakes?
coffee. 100%.
Coffee all day. All right. Lifeblood of champions.
Yes.
Dogs or cats?
Ooh. I grew up with cats. I've grown to love dogs, but I'm at heart I'm a cat person at
All
heart.
right. I like cats at heart. I like it. Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Probably a pirate.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
something about
Let's go. Gatorade or Powerade?
ooh, probably Powerade. Probably the red Powerade. Yeah.
Red Powerade. He's getting the ruby red lips. Let's
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Get him right. Get him right. All right. Toast or bagels?
Oh, bagels for sure.
All right. Bageling it up. Chips or pretzels?
Chips.
All right. I like it. Okay. Fries or tots?
Oh, fries. I love
Okay.
love fry.
Love a fry. Okay. TV show or movie after a long day?
Um, these days I'm watching more TV than I'm watching movies, which makes me feel bad inside, but these days, realistically, I'll say TV more than movies.
Okay. All right. Are aliens real?
100%.
100%. All right. Bigfoot. That
Yeah,
real.
yeah, certainly.
And we're a Bigfoot. All right, let's go. Love at first sight. Is that real?
Um, yeah, but not for me.
Okay.
Not that kind of guy, but I definitely think that some people just know.
Well, everybody, if you want to get to Elijah's heart, it's not going to be at your first sight. I love it. All right. Who are a couple bands that we might not know that we ought to check out? Final question,
um,
Pete Peterson's Party Pack.
I think for, if I'm thinking in the world of the people that I play with, my buddy Zach Crook, I was listening to him today. He and I did a song together called Horse Girl a few years ago that is, I think you'll find funny if you ever listen to it. And you should definitely check out Zach's most recent record that came out last year. Another buddy of ours named Parker Whirling put a song out called Tricks a few months ago that is really, really incredible. And I got a buddy named Cannon Rogers that recently pivoted, started making country music, and I love his country turn. Love it.
I saw Cannon Rogers open up for Susto at Eddie's
Yep.
Attic. And I
Yep.
went up to that guy and I said, I'm getting you on the damn show. And the
Yes.
guy hasn't come on the damn show yet. So next time you see him, tell him that the giant guy from Indiebnb is
Yeah,
hunting
yeah,
him
yeah.
down and we're going to
That's
get him on this
funny.
freaking show.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved his stuff. I agree with you. His turn into country was, I loved love what he was putting out. So Cannon Rogers, Cannon in the boxes, better get their ass on the show.
Exactly. There you go.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'll be seeing him when he opens up with Clover County to
Oh
open up a
yeah.
medium build, come here in June. So I might see him before you do, but
You know.
we love it. We love it. Well, we got Zach Crooks, check out the song Horse Girl. Parker Whirling just had a new album come out that Elijah's been digging on, as well as Cannon in the Boxes. I stamp that as well. I've seen him; he's amazing as well. So appreciate you hopping into the Pete Peterson Party Pack of questions. I know it was a real boiler room and
No,
real
great.
stressful, but
No, it's great.
you got through it. Got
Absolutely.
through it. Well, Elijah, we appreciate you coming on the show here. I mean, obviously stream Hometown Vampire, go listen to
Sure.
Syrup. It's great jam on there. He's got a lot of other stuff out on streaming. You click his name in the description below. We'll be able to get you right to one of his streaming profiles.
Yep.
And check out his stuff. And he'll be coming to a town near you, hopefully in July, or maybe even the fall if for our Northeast listeners. So
Sure.
got a lot on the horizon here for Elijah Johnston. Elijah, anything else you want to plug?
Just if you dig the songs, go grab some wax. We got it on vinyl. Looks nice
Ooh.
and pretty in the packaging. It's all cool. Make it happen.
Where can we get the vinyl?
Probably best place is either at your local record store, but I don't know how many places have them, or at strollingbonesrecords.com. That's my label. So you can hit there or hit my Bandcamp and grab one of the records.
All right. Well, let's go get some vinyl.
Or CDs if you still use
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, Elijah, appreciate you coming into the Indie B&B here, and
it.
we look
Sure.
forward to seeing more from you here soon.
Yeah, man.